Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Sauria, which is a 1 to 5 player game published by Million Games. In this game, you are playing as a visitor to this island full of dinosaurs to tour the park before it opens for the public. In this game, you're going to be taking on the role of maybe a scientist, a paleontologist, a kid, the chaotician, a hunter. You're going to use these roles throughout the game to try to escape the island. Well, why are you trying to escape this island that you're touring? Well, no sooner did you get there than the island started to erupt. This disrupted the geothermal power to the island and cutting power to the entire island. This let all the dinosaurs run loose throughout the island and created a panic. Now, the volcano's erupting, lava's coming out, that's a problem. Predatory dinosaurs running around the island that potentially want to eat you, that's a problem. Apparently the military needs to make sure that these dinosaurs don't become invasive species on the mainland, so within 48 hours they're going to bomb the island, and they strongly suggest that you leave. Well, this is an opportunity for you, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You didn't come to this island just to tour. You came here to see dinosaurs. You also will have a personal objective and something that personally you want to see done before you leave this island. There's going to be hurdles to leaving the island. If you want to try to weather out the bombing in the bunker, you need to get power to be able to close the doors to the bunker. If you want to be able to escape on the helipad, you better be able to send out a signal to have the helicopter come pick you up. If you want to leave on the boat, well, that got damaged, so you need to fix it before you can leave. So, you're going to balance getting out your objectives versus getting off the island and surviving. So let's go ahead down to the table. I'm going to give you a general idea how the game will play. I'm not really going to do rules. I'm going to just try to give you an idea how everything flows and point out some of the cool things that I like about the game. Then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is the game of Sauria, and I have set this game up for a 4-player game, so that's why you see the 4 standees out. I'm not going to go over the full setup of the game, but a couple things I just wanted to point out in setup. One of them is going to be centered around noise cubes. In the game, you're going to basically have each of these bags out. There's going to be 4 different bags, and they're going to be one for each region, and there's 4 regions in the game. There's going to be a red region, there's going to be a white region, there's going to be a blue region, and there's going to be a black region. And in each of these bags, you're going to put in 1 red cube and 4 black cubes for each player. So if I'm setting up for a 4-player game, that means each of these bags have 4 red cubes in it and 16 black cubes. I will show you what noise means in a little bit, but just know that's part of setup. Also, you'll notice this boat, you're just going to put it out and have it hang out. It'll match up with the dock when you flip it. A couple other things with setup is you're going to get these asymmetric player boards. There's going to be 8 of them that come with the game. You can be the counselor, and a couple things to know about these player boards is you place your items up across here, and these are your wounds. A player can only have a max of 10 wounds, and if they hit that, they die. So you're going to get wounds face down, and then when you start taking more than 5 wounds, you're going to be flipping these wounds face up, and they will have effects on them when you flip them face up. Also, things to note about each of these players is you're going to have traits. So this one here has 3 traits. And then they always have the same basic and special moves. However, on the right side here, you're going to have different amounts of green cubes that you can put on here. And these green cubes correspond to however many times you can do your special actions. Once these are taken out of a row here, you can't do that special action again until you rest, or some other effects in the game will actually let these replenish. But each of these player cards will have a big write-up on the character, so you can get a lot of back story on each of the players and have a more immersive experience with the game. Just to show you this counselor here, it has motivational, it has camp counselor, and it has always prepared. So it has traits that match the type. You also can be the hunter, and the hunter has marksman, tracker, and that's a knife. So obviously they fit the trait on here, or fit the character. And just for example, like all these like marksmen roll an additional yellow die when making a ranged attack. That's pretty cool. So they all have stuff that fit their character. You could also be a photographer. You can be the scientist. You can be the chaotician. And you can be a ranger. You can be the paleontologist that I have down on the board here, or you can be a saboteur. Now the saboteur is straight up causing trouble, so it goes from like a mostly cooperative game to a not cooperative game, or semi-cooperative game when the saboteur comes in. So throughout the game, what you're going to do is you're going to try to survive. There's 3 different ways to escape the island. You can either be in the bunker, you can either, and I'll just flip these over, but you wouldn't find them until you explored. You can be in the helicopter pad, or you can be out on the boat. So once the dock flips, this will go over, boat will go over near it. And if you're on one of those 3 when the game ends, you survive. If you survive, you add up your points, and the person with the most points wins. Well, how do you get points in this game? Well, every character has their own goal cards. They have 3 different ones. You're going to shuffle these up at the beginning of the game, and you're going to randomly get one. Then you're going to take a look at the goal card, and you're going to use this throughout the game to gain points and potentially win with it. So this card right here has, now, yeah, they all fit the idea of the paleontologist. So the idea of the paleontologist, these will all be centered around the same thing, but have different objectives that you have to meet. So like these are animals are meant to be saved and not destroyed. So you're going to get victory points for all 3 of these different things. So this one's worth 4, this one's worth 3, this one's worth 2. But very importantly down here, you're also going to get a victory point for the method of escape. Now, just escaping the island means that you survived and you can get some points. Because if you try to get all these points here, all 10 of your points, you can get the max of 10 points in the game and die. It doesn't really matter. But this character here is going to be want to be on the helicopter pad before the game ends. In addition to having your own goals, you're also going to have potentially, not all the time, but potentially you're going to have an item that's specific. It'll have the picture of the person on here. Most of the characters have items, some of them don't. So the paleontologist here is going to start out the game with a trusty flare. All right, so once we got that set up, you're going to figure out who the first player is. You can use your own method, or you can see who could tell the best dinosaur joke, and whoever does that can be the first player. All right, so the game is going to take over 16 rounds. Not over 16 rounds. It's going to take up to 16 rounds. And at the end of the 16th round, you either survived or you didn't, and you score up your points. Throughout the game, you're going to be spending action points to do these different actions on your board. You're going to be traveling to these different areas. You're going to have to deal with the monsters out on the board. Monsters as in dinosaurs. And you're going to have to try to meet some of your objectives and try to be able to escape the island. All right, so now that you know you have 16 turns, what do turns look like and why are there different colors on this board? So we're going to go over that now. All right, so if you look at this turn track right here, so we're going to have 16 turns. You're going to see that there's white and there's black spaces. The white spaces are daylight and the black spaces are night. Now, thematically in this game, what ended up happening is the volcano has started to erupt. The geothermal power on the island has been interrupted due to this. So Sorry. So what happened is the power went out on the island. Well, because the volcano is erupting, because the power went out, and because now the dinosaurs are running rampant all through the island, the Air Force is going to bomb the island and eliminate everything on it within 48 hours. So that's why you have 2 days. So you're going to have to deal with getting off the island, not getting eaten, and not getting burned to death by this volcano. On here, you're going to do events for the day when it's on the day round, and you're going to do events for the night when it's on night rounds. When you get to the 9th turn here, it is a daylight action spot, but the volcano will start to erupt. And that's going to spew lava out on the board. And we're going to go over how that works in a little bit, but let's go over what a turn looks like. So you're on their first turn, you freshly have your goal, you have your item, you have all of your action tokens all set up on here so you can do all of your special actions. Well, what do you do on your turn? Well, the first thing that happens is you have to flip over an event. So it's daylight, so you're going to have to flip over this event. And this one here says Natural Camouflage. Place a dinosaur for the dinosaur deck on the first player's hex. All right, so Natural Camouflage. That means that I'm going to take a look at this dinosaur deck. And we set up this dinosaur deck at the beginning of the game. So it's going to go from semi-easy dinosaurs to a little bit harder to really hard to super hard dinosaurs. So let's go over dinosaurs since we're flipping one over for this event. So a couple things on here. So the Packy is going to go out. It has 3 health. This is where the health shown. This shows what type of dinosaur it is. It's an herbivore. And this shows how tall it is, or it's either small or big. Many footprints means small. 1 big footprint means giant. And this is what dice it uses when attacking. So we'll place this card down. And then we would get the standee for the Packy, which I'll get in a second. But before we do that, I want to show some of the other dinosaurs. So this one here is going to be one of the other types. It's a meat eater. It is a large, and it has a black and red dice. The black dice are insane. A couple other icons I want to show here is going to be this raptor. So this raptor here is a meat eater. It's a small dinosaur, but it goes in a pack. So dinosaurs that go in a pack, if there is another one raptor that's closer than prey, it will go to the other raptor and they will join forces together to move across the board and attack together. So that's what the pack thing means. So you either have a meat-eating dinosaur or you have a plant-eating dinosaur, and you have to worry about their dice. Now, we flipped out that dinosaur, we put it on here. Now know that plant-eating dinosaurs, unless they're agitated or you attack them, basically panicked or agitated or panicked, they won't attack you. So when I put this Packy out there for the first player, it's not a meat-eating dinosaur, so it doesn't really care about my paleontologist, and it'll leave him alone. Now, if my paleontologist goes and shoots the dinosaur, whether it's an herbivore or meat-eating dinosaur, it does not matter. So let's get the Pachycephalosaurus out. And here he is. And he'll go on the same space as me. What are other things that you can do after you do your event? You're now going to do the lava phase. However, you're going to skip this lava phase until you're on the 9th round. And again, we'll go over lava in a little bit. Then you'll go into the action phase where you're going to do your actions. Then the dinosaur phase, and then cleanup. So let's do the action phase. Every player gets 3 points that they can spend. And we're going to look at a different board here, so I don't have to lift this one up. But you have your traits. A lot of them are going to cost action points, like here, locker keys. If I want to use locker keys, I can search, only cost 1 action point on the ranger's location. So instead of, when I go to search here, it costs generally 2 action points. So I have 3 action points that I can spend. I can move. If I move 1, it's 1 action point. I can attack, cost 1 action point. I can do a quiet move. I'm going to tell you why that matters in a second. That costs 2 action points. That just means that I don't need to pull anything from the bag. I can search, that costs 2 action points. I can reload, so reload a gun or whatnot, that costs 2 action points. I can rest, which will fill all my green cubes over here if I need to, but that's my entire turn. That is 3 action points. I can repair for 3 action points, again my entire turn. Everyone has special abilities they can do on here. Like this one has sneak, sprint. Sprint's pretty dangerous because you go across a bunch of land spaces. You still have to pull from the bag for each one you go. But if you need to move, you need to move. This one here you can unload, so you can shoot twice, attack twice basically, sorry. You can do a quick search for 1 instead of 2. You can evade, so I'll go over evasion in a second when we go over dinosaurs and attacking and all that fun stuff. Then you can do 3 to soar. You can draw a card and draw 3 cards and keep 1. Or sorry, scour, sorry, not soar, scour. And you can hide. So those are the different things you can do. Those all cost action points. Like I said, you have 3 action points, you spend them and do whatever. So before we go over dinosauring attacking, I can show you what you can do on your turn. Now, every single one of these places needs to have something happen for them to function. So if I want to escape the island in the bunker needs power first. So that's why I have this symbol here set to this side. Once I have power, it's flipped over here. So I need to go to the power station, find it, and power it on to do it. The helipad has its own problems, and so does the dock. So everything, all of these 3 escape things need something done, or parts, to be able to do it. The helipad needs a couple different things actually, because you also need to see where you have this token right here. When we get to round 13, this flips, so you can do a signal and call out. You also need a phone to do that. So there's a couple different things for that. So that's a good thing to keep in mind throughout the game. As I'm spending action points to move, if I move onto a place with a road, I don't need to draw noise cubes. If I move through a forest, which doesn't have a road, I need to draw noise cubes. And simply when you draw noise cubes, you're going to draw a cube from here. If it ends up being black, you're all good. You can just set it to the side. If it ends up being red, then you're going to need to place out another dinosaur. And that could be a meat-eating dinosaur, could be bad. If it's that's during the day phase. If it's a night phase, no matter what terrain I go over, I have to draw a cube. Also, a lot of times when you go here and you flip over these tiles, they're going to have things that maybe have you draw cubes. Also, if you see this symbol here, so if I see this symbol here, you're going to go and take a look at the encounter deck. That would happen if you also went to one of these encounter spaces right here. Then you pick up this card here, and you're going to go over this giant wall of text here. Not that giant, but you're going to do from top to bottom and resolve this. And good things can happen, but really bad things can happen with this too. So you're going to try not to draw too many red cubes. You're trying not to make a whole lot of noise, and you're trying not to spawn too many dinosaurs. But as you can tell, dinosaurs will spawn because you draw other red cubes. They'll spawn because of events. They'll spawn because of the different these day or night cards. All different reasons these will spawn out on the board. So after all the players have done all their actions, they can attack dinosaurs. Dinosaurs can attack, or they can attack dinosaurs. They can try to evade dinosaurs. They can try to find their areas. They can do all these really cool things. After that, it's the dinosaur phase. And the dinosaurs are going to move one space towards prey. And each of these dinosaurs has a hierarchy to them of what they want to go towards first. So the large dinosaurs are going to want to go towards a wounded player first, then a regular player, then a large dinosaur, then a small dinosaur. Where the small dinosaurs are going to want to go after a wounded player, a regular player, then small dinosaurs to eat them. And this is just meat eaters that move. If a meat eater moves into your space, so let's just randomly get a meat eater. So that's Gallimimus, also not a meat eater. That is Stegosaurus. Most of the greens ones are... here we go. We have Comptes. So if we had Comptes out and they moved in their space, they only have 1 health, they would roll this green die. Now, the green die is the weakest die in the entire game. It only has a hit on 1 or 2 different sides of the 6-sided die, so it's probably going to miss. Incidentally, if you don't have a weapon, you can always do a melee attack. It's just a green die. So if a dinosaur attacks you, they're going to roll their dice, and that's whatever you're going to get, so it missed. All right, but if I attack a dinosaur, so it's in my spot, I would roll the die. If it's non-ranged, the dinosaur gets to retaliate and roll its die against me. Like I said, herbivores, unless you provoke them or they're agitated, they will not attack you. But carnivores will. And a carnivore in your space will attack you, and then if you try to move out of the space with the carnivore, it'll get to basically roll an attack of opportunity on you. So it'll get to roll and try to hit you. Now that comes up to one of the second highest dice here, has the symbol here that's really hard to see on the camera, but it has little pictures of steps. So if you roll this die will actually prevent you from being able to leave the space that you just spent an action point to attempt to do. So you may want to use one of your specials to hide, to try to prevent that as a possibility, especially with some of the bigger dinosaurs have multiple of these yellow dice that they will be rolling. Also, we want to look at 2 different things. So you kill a dinosaur simply by having more red cubes on it from doing damage than its health number. And if you do that, you'll lay it down. At the cleanup phase, you'll clean it off. So that's the end of the round. Humans, though, or your players, are a little different. Every time you take a damage, you're going to put a wound counter on it. And some of the big dinosaurs can almost one-shot you. So when you get up to 5, you're filled up. You're not going to add any more of these wound cards, but what you are going to do is start flipping them over. And each of these is going to have a bad thing happen to you. Like this one here is punctured lung. So you have +1 noise when doing a sprint. You also can't hide with a punctured lung. And they'll keep getting worse. You'll keep getting lacerations here, broken leg. That's another broken leg, so you have both broken legs. And a mangled hand. Once all this happens, you have been killed. And you will lay your standee and it'll get removed during cleanup. So I know I went over a lot really, really quick, but I just wanted to give you a really quick overview of how the game plays and how this flows. So there's a couple more things I want to go over, but just know that I just wanted to show you how things basically will work and what you can expect throughout the game. But we're going to get into one of the cooler parts of the game. Not that, I mean, putting out, if you've ever played Nemesis before, putting out, making noise basically, moving to different spots is really cool tension, because you're going to be pulling from this bag. You don't know if it's going to be a black or red. As the game goes by and more dinosaurs get placed out, the dinosaurs get more and more dangerous. Like you saw, I had like the Gallimimus, which is like, it's a plant eater, so I'm all good. We have a Stegosaurus. Well, I'll just stay away from them, whatever. I have Comptes. Well, you know, I'll kick them with my boot, whatever. Then we have these yellow dinosaurs start to come out. You have a Triceratops. Well, he's pretty nasty. I will leave him alone. We have a Iguanodon, sure. Also an herbivore. We have a Raptor. That guy's a little wiener. He has 3 health. I can still probably deal with this. I'm going to be searching in different areas. And maybe I'll have a gun by then. Okay, so we have a Dilophosaurus, another meat eater. It's pretty dangerous. Oh no, now we're getting to big things. Oh man. This guy rolls a red die, a yellow die, and 2 green dice. He also has 6 health. That's pretty nasty. We have the Allosaurus. Red, yellow, and 2 yellow and a green, and 6 health. We have Ankylosaurus, which we're going to leave alone. And now we get into black dinosaurs. We have the Tyrannosaurus Rex, 9 health, rolls a black die. This black die is insane. I think there's only one side that misses on this entire die, and there's a bunch of like 4 hits, There's a 3 hit. Like, he's going to mess me up. And you only need to take 10 hits to die. So I want to stay away from the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So as you can see, as time goes by, these dinosaurs get more and more scary. So pulling that noise gets to be more and more of a concern. Thankfully, you're going to probably be searching the island and getting cool gear by the time some of these big things come out. And each of these locations that you can get on the board, there's going to be 4 different types. Some of them are going to be science here, so you're going to get these cool, like, science. You get the rail gun, which is going to be the most powerful gun in the entire game. It rolls a black and 4 red. But cool thing to know about guns is, you notice they have a thing for small and they have a thing for large dinosaurs. This one behaves the same because it's just a giant gun. And there's not really many guns in here. Here's some rifle, mainly like some night vision goggles and stuff. But this one here, against small dinosaurs, it rolls a black and a red. That's really powerful. But against big dinosaurs, it rolls 2 red. You can go some of the green areas there that let you search, and you can get through the medical deck. You can get a backpack. You can get an energy bar. You can get a machete. You can get a flashlight. You can get bandages that are super, super nice, because you're not healing very fast in this game. And when some of these big dinosaurs come out, here's a big medical kit that you can get. They can be a bother. And they can kill you real quick too. Also, the lava is going to be a problem, which I'll tell you about in a minute. You can also get these gears. So these are cool things in here. And you do need to pay attention, because some of the things that you need in the game to fix, like the boat at the dock, will come from the gear deck. You need to pay attention to the deck that you need to go into to get these stuff, to be able to fix what you need to get off the island. Here is going to be like straight up weapons all the time. Here's another example of one here. This one goes 2 red if it's a small dinosaur for the assault rifle, but the big dinosaur only gets 1 red. Some of these you can't even hit the big dinosaur. Like here's the pistol. It's a yellow and a green for a small dinosaur, but a big dinosaur doesn't bother them at all. You better run. Shotgun here, really effective against small dinosaurs. It's going to be red and 2 yellow, and big dinosaurs, it's a yellow. All right, so just wanted to show you that flow and things you can do that, and you can do your build up. However, when we start getting to round 9 here, the volcano is going to start to blow up. Now, there is this lava deck that you're going to have in the game. However, you're not going to draw from it yet. You're actually not going to draw from it until round 11. What's going to happen is on round 9, this lava is going to go in every single space. So let's say these people are around here a little bit. Every single space in the first ring. Everything here is completely destroyed. Humans, dinosaurs, whatever happens to be in this first ring is gone. All right? So that was what happens on round 9. When you get to round 10, say his Compty's over here. We did get the power on, and he's here. All right, so when we get to round 10, then you're going to do the second ring here, and everything in this ring here will be destroyed. The only exception is going to be the bunker. Now, if you have power, the bunker won't be destroyed. You'll put the lava underneath it. If you don't have power, the bunker will be destroyed and eliminated from the game, and you put the lava on top. Now, well, if I have lava all around the bunker, how do I get to it? Well, there's going to be tunnels throughout the game, and there's going to be a tile that you're going to need to flip over to give you tunnel access. But technically, when that tile is revealed, you'll be able to jump from tunnel to tunnel anywhere on the board. So you'll be able to access this bunker if it got power before round 10. Now, round 11 on, you're going to be drawing from the lava deck here. You're going to take the color, and then you're going to place lava in every black space and the next ring and the next ring over every time you pull it. Now, you could be super unlucky and pull all the blacks and have that whole region covered with lava. Everything in that region gets destroyed. Exceptions are the docks and the helipad. They won't get destroyed. They can make them inaccessible, but because they're surrounded by lava, but they won't get destroyed. So what happens if I'm in lava? Well, if you're in lava, you will immediately get 5 damage. So you will have 5 wounds. You only need 10 wounds to kill you. If you move to a second lava, you'll die. Or get hit by second lava. So if there's 2 lava basically blocking you from a destination, you can't get to it. Couple other things you're going to want to know about lava. Lava, dinosaurs will stay away from lava. They will become panicked if they can't get away from it. And panicked dinosaurs, whether they're an herbivore or a carnivore, will immediately attack you. And even an herbivore, if you try to leave a space where it's panicked, it will get an attack of opportunity on you. Dinosaurs will never go towards the lava. So, I mean, they'll stay within one space away. So if I have this giant Tyrannosaurus Rex here, and normally it would be moving one space to come eat me, it will not. It will stay away from me because it will not go to that lava. It will go to the next legitimate target. So that's a thing you could do in the game. You could stick near the lava, but you're taking your life in your hands because at the beginning of the next round, lava could be placed on top of you. So it's a thing to keep in mind. But also, if you really need to, a way of not getting eaten, potentially. So that in a quick nutshell is how lava works. So to recap, you're going to need to escape the island before the 16th turn. You're going to need to either be in the bunker, you're going to need to be on the helipad, or you're going to need to be on the boat. All 3 of those locations need something done to fix them before you get there. Like the signal has to be on to even be able to activate the helipad. Other considerations that you want to have in the game is the bunker has to have power, or it's going to get blown up in round 10. So you're going to use that as your goal to get out of the island from one of those 3 means. You're probably going to attempt to gain your point or whatever it is. It can be higher than that depending on the goal card. You're going to try to get your victory location and get there. You will also try to get these different goals throughout the game. And you won't be revealing these. You'll just be keeping track if you did them. So I'm going to try to complete as much as 10 points as I possibly can, keeping in mind that I need to survive. Also, thing to remember is that movement is going to be an issue throughout the game. You need to be very strategic with it, or as strategic as you can. During the daylight, you're going to try to use the roads as much as you possibly can. So you can limit how much noise that you are creating. So you're going to limit how much you draw from a bag. But at night, it doesn't matter. You're going to be drawing noise. So you may want to do other things at night, or you may just need to do something. Like you need to get that power for that bunker because you're running out of time. That is going to be the flow of the game. So I hope this helped give an idea of how Sauria plays and what the different things you can do on the turn. Let's go ahead back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts on the game. Okay, Sauria is an amazing Dinosaur Park style game where everything goes crazy and the dinosaurs are running rampant and eating people. I love the noise mechanic. I loved it in Nemesis. Very, very stressful in Nemesis. It's also stressful in this game. You're pulling things from that bag, and depending on where you're in the game, you might be like, it's going to be one of the green cards. I'm probably going to be okay, or I can kick it. But as time goes by, you're going to be like, well, you know, I'm starting to take a lot of wounds here. I don't want a predatory dinosaur, another one popping up. And then it's really, to top that off, you can have bad things happen when you go to all these different sites as you explore. Different events can trigger. All these horrible things can happen. So that noise becomes super critical because you don't want to, even if you think you can take that dinosaur later on, you don't want to take more wounds, because as the game ramps up, it's going to be more likely that something's going to come and chomp on you a little bit. So I really like that in the game. The component quality, I'm not a huge fan of standees, but it's fine for this. I mean, over time, I'm probably going to replace all the dinosaur standees with plastic dinosaurs because it's going to be cool. But they're fine. The art on them is great. I love the art in this game. It's pretty good. Overall, it definitely gives the feel of the game, so everything matches. It's good. I like how the different interactions you have with the different sites. I like your personal objectives, and not knowing exactly what the personal objectives are for the other players, but you have a general idea. Like the hunter's going to be hunting stuff. The scientist is going to be trying to search through that scientist deck, or trying to get samples or something like that. So you have a general idea what their goals will be. But for the most part, you're just trying to survive. So you're not really like actively sabotaging other players unless you are the saboteur. And I would highly recommend that for your first couple games, you don't let that be something a player can pick. Try without. Now, the other thing I want to mention too in this is there's a solo version of the game that's good, and also has variants to make the game harder. So if you play this and you're like, I'm the master of this island, you can add some of these variants in it to make it more difficult. Overall, if you're looking for, I guess I'll say like a Jurassic Park style game, like this is like the books. This is awesome. If you're looking for something like that and you like that theme, you're going to want to check this game out. If you like a survival style game with a lot of different strategies you can deploy and nice stress throughout the game, you also want to check this game out. So that's my thoughts on Sauria. Thank you for watching.